Welcome to the Fishbowl Radio, everybody. My name is Chief here, and joining me today is Jalen. We're going to be doing LSU Texas Bowl preview down in Houston, and we'll also be covering LSU men's basketball and LSU women's basketball. LSU men's basketball, they're going to be taking on Vanderbilt and at Missouri, then going on the road to take on those two, Missouri and at Ole Miss. And also, LSU women's basketball had a very big win yesterday against Albany, 83-61 win over there, and taking on the road, going to take on at Arkansas and at home against Auburn on January 5th. So without further ado, let me introduce everybody to Jalen. How you doing today, Jalen?
Hey, I'm doing well, Chief Tiger Nation. It's a great week. Bowl game coming up. Will LSU get the win? And hey, like Chief said, women and men's basketball teams are playing great.
Yeah, I mean, they both looking very good so far here. But let's talk about LSU football first here. LSU versus Baylor. You know, there's some similarities with this matchup here, believe it or not. Dave Aranda is the head coach of Baylor, who was the defensive coordinator off of LSU's 2019 team when they had Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. Yeah, I say more after that. What do you think about this matchup, Jalen, or what pops out to the page to you?
Yeah, Chief, I'm glad the first thing you brought up was David Aranda, the defensive coordinator, like you just said on that team. I think going against somebody who was part of the LSU team, even though it was back in 2019 when they won, but hey, still LSU. I know it's a different coach now with Brian Kelly, but David Aranda still knows LSU. He already can see the great players that they have on that team. Baylor has some great players too. He's been a coach over there for a couple of years. Um, Both teams ended the year on winning streaks. LSU had a 3-game skid till they came back and won 2 straight, including that win against Oklahoma. And then Baylor has won like 4 or 5 straight in the year themselves. This is going to be another great matchup. These two teams have first meeting Chiefs since 1985 between these two teams. So hey,
Oh,
both
dang, that's been a while, right?
that is a long time. Neither one of us were on this earth at that time. So um but no, it's gonna be great. Baylor's quarterback Sawyer Robinson going against Garrett Nussmeier, who's returned to LSU. It's gonna be great. Going great quarterback play, great. It's gonna be a great overall game. Can't wait to see how this one turns out.
Well, Baylor so far on the year, they're 26 in offensive production, 83rd on defense overall. They're 33rd in rushing, passing games 42nd, rushing for Baylor is 77th, and passing is defense is 84th in the country. So Baylor's obvious weak point is their defense here so far, and they got to be able to try to slow down LSU's offense. Because LSU's 27th in the country in offense, but they're 53rd on defense here. Defense for LSU has been playing better, but LSU doesn't really have much of a running game so far. So that's been kind of like the thing they try to figure out. Like, is this gonna be the chance for LSU to really maybe get this running game going off for 2025 year? So LSU, like you mentioned, they won their last 2 games here. Um, so LSU began the season here very hopeful to qualify for the expanded college football playoff. Baylor found itself like in a daze. They were only a 2-4 start when they first started the year here. So Baylor rebounded obviously to get themselves to 8-4, winning their last 6 games, and that's been kind of the case there. So um, they ran up was 6-7 in 2022. 3-9 mark last season and a 2-4 start for this season. So his future at the school looked pretty bad. There was even some talk of maybe him being on the hot seat there out of Baylor. So it's going to be interesting with Garrett Nussmeier coming back. This is going to be obviously really big for the Tigers here. The big question is Chris Hilton might be able to make Swiss cheese of this Baylor's Bears secondary. What you think, Jalen, about that matchup?
Yeah, Chris Hilton is going to have a nice game against Baylor. Like you said, Baylor on the defensive end, which is kind of crazy because David Aranda is known for his defense, but they've really, if you had to pick a side of the ball for them that's kind of struggled this year, has to be the defense. Chris Hilton, as of late, has been playing great for LSU. Big time. He's going to be a big time receiver going into next season. Look at him to be the star receiver of the team, especially exits after Kyrie Lacey is leaving, going to the NFL draft. But yeah, Chris Hudson's gonna have a field day, Chief, against Baylor. He's gonna put up big numbers. He has that connection with Garrett Nussmeier. I mean, I don't expect anything less. It's gonna be a great explosion of offense, and he's gonna be one of the key playmakers.
So Nussmeier is going to have a little bit of a, little bit different. He's going to have to rely on a new left tackle and a new right tackle. Opting out after Will Campbell and Emory Jones are opting out of the game to prepare for the draft. So that's something that's going to be interesting to see here because as a quarterback, if you're a right-handed thrower, you trust that left tackle to protect your blind side. How do you think that's going to impact this game, Jalen?
That's definitely impacted this game. I mean, Will Campbell, who's going to be one of the top picks in the NFL draft. I mean, one of the best left tackles in all of college football. It's going to be different because, like you said, Garrett Nussmeier is used to him protecting him, getting the blind side. Now you got to get somebody else who he's not used to, even though it is for one game. But that makes a difference in the game. You know how you talk about how kickers can make a difference in the game, but left tackle is one of the positions that, yeah, you need them in the game because next thing you know, Nussmeier's going to get hit and he's not even going to see him coming. So it will play a role, and it doesn't help either that Emory Jones is gone too. So there's two key pieces on your offensive line that's not going to be there. And it's going to take a lot of practice and a lot of adjustment for Garrett Nussmeier and that Tigers offense to even get the ball out.
So what you thinking, Jalen? Who wins this game tomorrow?
I think LSU wins. It's going to be a very, very close one. I don't think it's going to be that high of a scoring game. I'm going to say by a field goal, LSU 27, Baylor 24.
I'll go a little bit higher. I think a 10-point win for LSU. Actually, I think LSU will take care of business. I think I'm trying to think of a good football score for this one here. 10 to 14 points, so maybe 42 to 31, maybe. But I think somewhere around there. That's what I'm thinking. I think LSU's offense will do enough to win this game here. I think they'll be able to explode, pick apart Baylor secondary, and be able to pick up the win and get their third consecutive win here. Now, switching gears, going to talk about LSU men's basketball here real quick here. Picking up a win before they begin conference play against Mississippi Valley State was the fifth highest points differential win for the Tigers. They won 110 to 45 with Mississippi Valley State. Mississippi Valley State has not won a game yet this year, so I'm a little bit cautious entering these SEC games because we don't know how good LSU men's basketball team is this year. They got a high RPI. Well, they don't have a high RPI. They got 92 RPI. Okay, the net ranking is 54. So we really don't know what we're going to get when we play against Vanderbilt or at Missouri. I'm cautious. Let me say it like that here. Give me a split between these two teams on the 4th and the 7th here because I don't really know. That's kind of like the territory that I don't want to get in. I think they split the first two SEC games. What you think, Jalen?
Yeah, I mean, looking against Mississippi Valley State, I mean, that game was a cupcake game. I mean, winning 110 to 45. I mean, come on, that's kind of like a practice game, honestly. And then when they come to SEC play, that's it's going to be a tough one going against this Vanderbilt team who's having a great year. I think they'll. So this is what I'm gonna say here, Chief. I think they'll get the win at home against Vanderbilt to start off something. But when they got to go on the road and take on this Missouri team, I think that's when LSU will probably lose that one. That's what I'm thinking. I hope they win them both, but
I'll probably
it's
be
to the
with you on
SEC. It's
that one.
tough.
Yeah, just to kind of get an idea. I mean, ESPN2, LSU's going to be on ESPN2 for the Vanderbilt game. SEC Network looks like for the rest of them here, or most of the game season here, they're going to be on SEC Network, which is good if you're a Tiger fan to get a chance to look at the LSU men's team and see how they're going to do. Now, LSU women's basketball, they're starting conference play. I'm a little more confident in the women's here because the SEC is not nearly as packed as the men's are. Arkansas, they're 7-8. Then you got Auburn. Auburn did beat LSU women's last year. That was kind of a shocker for a lot of. I think that national championship, that weight of defending, does affect the team. Like you're trying to be perfect and try to win. But I think they take care of business. I think they win their first 2 conference games. This team is looking really good starting out of the gate here. They haven't really their biggest game they've played was against North Carolina State, which does have a 10-3 record and RPI of 12. So there's a reason why this team is ranked number 6, and Kim Mulkey and company, they have this thing rolling over there. RPI rank of 13 so far. Strength of schedule 74. Like I said, they didn't play the toughest non-conference schedule, but I think once again the SEC play, we're gonna really see what they're about here before that big matchup against at Tennessee there, number 15 on January 9th here. You gotta be able to get yourself out there and be able to protect yourself a little bit there and get yourself in a good position and you know make sure all your role players are doing what they're supposed to do here. Not the they've been shooting the ball pretty well, 47.8% from the floor. Around 50% is always good for your team anyway. LSU didn't shoot as good against Albany, but they did get a 44% shooting rate out of that one there. But what you thinking, Jalen?
Yeah, this LSU team. I mean, they're playing great. J. Johnson is a star. There were a lot of question marks I kind of had going into the season, especially after losing Angel Reese and Haley Van Lith transfer. But hey, this team with J. Johnson, you got Michaela Williams returning for well, of course, coming back for another year. She's a freshman, and then Anissa Morrow. They are on a roll, dude. And I mean, the Arkansas, they're going to get the win against Arkansas. They're going to get the win against Auburn. But that Tennessee game at Tennessee, if you want to mark a game on your calendar, that's it. But besides, South Carolina, obviously. But right now, between two undefeated teams, that game at Tennessee, that's a big game for the Tigers. We're going to see what this Tiger team is made of against this Tennessee squad. So that's one to look forward to for real.
LSU did not shoot the ball beyond the arc very well against Albany. They only went 1 of 13, only hitting 7.7% of their 3-point shots, compared to the game before, which was against UIC. That game was in Chicago, but look, I mean, you're gonna have off games. It's just how you respond to them and stuff like that. Because they shot about 45%. I think it's just a cold game, so hopefully they don't spill over to the Arkansas game here, where they can't make their threes. But we'll see what happens when we get down to it here. But yeah, I think they win both these games here, and but go on the road and take on that Tennessee there. It's always good to start conference play. Um, against not the best of your conference, so you can get kind of an idea of how it's going to be later on, to where you can kind of progress. Your Auburn's going to be a little bit tougher matchup here. Even though the Arkansas game is on the road, I still feel like the Tigers will be in very good shape whenever it comes down to that game in Fayetteville. So yeah, I think that'll do it here for this episode here of the Fishbowl Radio here, covering LSU sports here. Thank y'all for tuning in here. Hope you have a great and wonderful day. Jalen, anything you want to say before we get off the air here?
I just want to say, everybody keep watching Tigers men's and women's basketball team. They're playing well, especially the women's team. Keep watching them, and hey, everybody tune in to the bowl game right there on New Year's Eve, which is tomorrow, as the Tigers take on Baylor.
All right, thank you for tuning in. Hope you have a great and wonderful day. We'll see you here next time on the Fishbowl Sports Radio. Follow us on all our social media channels: Facebook, X, Instagram, YouTube, Threads, Spotify, TikTok, if they don't ban it. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning into the Fishbowl Radio. Hope you have a great and wonderful day, and we'll see you here next time on the Fishbowl Sports Radio. Have a good night, Fishbowl Nation.